Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hello and welcome to the Dork Forest. I'm Jackie Cation. I am your host of the Dork Forest. You probably know the websites, JackieCation.com, DorkForest.com, TheDorkForest.com. We're all over iTunes and whoever has downloaded it and repurposed it for whatever your needs. That's right. So feel free to review the show on iTunes. Feel free to email me, Jackie@JackieCation.com, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. Anyway, let's do the credits. Mike Rakebert composed and sang that song you just heard. He sang it with his wife, Sarah. He'll sing again his words to the Mexican hat dance at the end of the program. Patrick Brady is going to fix this audio, and Vilmos does my website. Okay. There are many ways to support the show. Let's talk about them. The easiest way is just to tell other people about the show and follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat @JackieCation and tell people, word of mouth. Another way to support the show financially, doesn't cost you anything, is the Amazon banner. On JackieCation.com, there's an Amazon banner under support the show. And on DorkForest.com, there's just an Amazon link that takes you to Amazon. And both take you to Amazon, you order like normal, and the show gets a little bit of a kickback. Doesn't cost you extra. It's just a way, if you order from Amazon, to help the show. More direct way of helping the show, you can give money to the show via PayPal. There's a PayPal button under the Support the Show page on JackieCation.com, and there's a PayPal button on DorkForest.com. You can donate directly. If you want to give monthly, I haven't made that easy. I don't have a monthly setup. I know that it's easy. I just don't have any time to do it. So you have to remember every month that you like the show and then give me money. So I'll use it wisely on audio cables and chocolate, whatever. Another way to support the show, if you don't like PayPal, is people have been Venmoing me money. I'll take it. That seems lovely. Jackie@JackieCation.com. It's just under Jackie Cation. So whatever. If you have listened to all 600 and whatever episodes of the Dork Forest and would like more Dork Forest, there are premium episodes, probably a dozen of them. And they are, in the last couple of years, if I do a live episode, it usually costs me some money. So I have been putting them up on Bandcamp, and they cost money. They cost $2 a pop. But if you go to thedorkforest.bandcamp.com, you can see those different shows. They're usually live episodes around the world. And there is also four stories on a sort of a handmade storytelling album that I made over there too. And those are just $1 each. So if you want to go to Bandcamp, you can do that as well. You can order merch on JackieCation.com. There are shirts and CDs and a DVD of my stand-up. There's the stand-up CDs, Circus People, It's Never Gonna Be Bread, This'll Make an Excellent Horcrux, and my brand new album, I Am Not the Hero of This Story. And they're all available as CDs on JackieCation.com. They're all available digitally on Amazon and iTunes, and you can just listen to them on Pandora and Spotify and whatever. So, but if you like hard copies, let me know if you want them signed or not. There's also a DVD of the Horcrux album, which is video. That's what a DVD is. And you can download that at comedyfilmnerds.com if you just like a download. Okay, there are shirts. There's my stand-up shirt, Spooky Reading Girl. There's also 2 Dork Forest t-shirts. So there's the Ranger of the Dork Forest t-shirt, and there is a Dork Forest logo shirt. And all the shirts are made in the United States, union made, so they run a little big because they're made by Americans. Other than that, my stand-up is available on the website, on JackieCation.com. You can watch my Conan sets. You can watch a bunch of different stand-up sets. You can, and then you can see what my schedule's like. Enough of this. Let's get into the show. It's a really good one. Hey, it's Jackie Cation. I'm in my living room again. It's the Dork Forest, and returning, because you've only done a live one, Solomon Georgio.
Yes, hi.
Hello and welcome to the Dork Forest.
I'm happy to be here.
There we go.
Wonderful Van Nuys.
Beautiful, so hot outside. At Solomon Georgio and thesolomongeorgio.com.
Yes.
Are the internet places where people can find you.
That's the best way to find me.
Yep. You have a new half-hour special coming on Comedy Central.
Yes. October 20th is my date. I believe it'd be at midnight 30.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right then. And then you have a new album hopefully coming out at the same time.
Yes, indeed.
And the name of that is?
Homo Negro Superior.
You guys, this means Solomon Georgio is both gay and black.
At the same time.
And superior, it turns out. It's all
well,
working.
I just assumed people would know that already.
Right, so let's just put it all together. So, how's it going?
It's going really good. I've been having quite a great year.
Yeah?
So I have no complaints.
Right, it's September.
I'm finding ways to complain, but
oh, sure. You can look for for trouble.
It's hot here.
It's warm. I know it. It's I'm making way too much money. I don't know about you, but it's exhausting. I got to figure out how to pay my bills, who to give it away to. This type of thing. At which point everyone emails, "You could give it to me." So not at this time. I'm still digging out, folks, but I will try to share the wealth at one point. So. As I backpedal. I'm in. Oh, wait.
I'll do it. No, I won't. Never mind. Take it back.
Okay, so sitcoms. Mm-hmm. And now you are much younger than myself. When did you grow up? Was it the 90s that were the sitcoms of choice?
Yeah, I was born in 81.
Okay.
But my family came to America in like the mid 80s.
Okay.
So
that's when the sitcoms started happening.
Oh, the sitcoms were everywhere. I think that was how we kind of understood
right.
English, or just how and we especially understood slapstick the easiest.
Sure.
Because when we first came here, I got a TV. We didn't speak English, so we just watched I Love Lucy and Three Stooges or Laverne and Shirley. Anything with high slapstick and a laugh track, we were sitting there,
soaking it up. You're like, maybe I'll get this word, vodio-do-do. What does it mean? Remember that from Laverne and Shirley? I'm from Milwaukee.
Oh, is that what? I didn't
that's
know
what they used to call sex.
Oh, I didn't know that's what that meant.
Yes.
I also try to drink milk and Pepsi because of that show.
Yes, it's terrible.
Kind of gross. It curdles.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason for such a thing. I don't understand why. I mean, it felt like a power play, quite honestly.
I think it's because at the time there was egg cream stuff, and I think that was sort of a nice little. But it's it doesn't. It doesn't milk work. Doesn't play that way.
No,
at all.
No.
It goes. You make terrible cheese in Pepsi.
Yeah, it's a. Yeah, that's the only thing that was comparable is Harriet the Spy, the children's book. It's about a little girl who was a spy, and
I've watched the movie.
Oh, did you see the movie?
I've of course watched the movie. With Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh yeah,
and I can't remember the girl's name.
The child.
She was on other stuff.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure she's grown up to be no doubt famous.
Michelle Trachtenberg. There you go. I
nice
can sometimes do that.
Well, that's your dorkdom, is that you know who these people are, right?
Well, she was also on Pete and Pete. That was also another.
Which I don't even know what that is.
It was a Nickelodeon show with two brothers named Pete.
There you go.
Pete.
Two brothers named Pete?
Yes.
They were both named Pete?
They're both named Pete.
I see.
And they were both redheads, which I'm sure didn't help at all. And one of them had at age, was really little, and he had a Hawaiian woman tattoo. Yeah. That would dance around.
Oh, that he could make dance?
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm aged out of the whole Nickelodeon Disney Channel sitcoms.
I was very much of the age when they started.
Yeah.
I was also of the age of wanting to audition for that and not getting the opportunity.
Because you didn't grow up here, did you?
At the time, during that time, I was in Fresno, California.
Well, Frez yes is what nobody says.
Yeah, everyone definitely wants a big no on that city.
Yeah, except for we have a nephew actually who loves Fresno.
Is he okay?
No, he's not. He's a troubled youth.
Oh my goodness!
But he's 24, and he grew up in a shittier town.
That's
smaller.
Impressive.
Yeah, he grew up in Lindsay, California, where the Olives are from.
I keep forgetting that is an option.
Wasn't his option. So when he moved to Fresno, he was like, "Oh my God, the big city!"
Oh yeah.
And we said, "Please come to Los Angeles and stay in our guest room and go to college here." And he was like, "No, Fresno's great." And he was like, "Okay, do whatever you want. You're 24."
Sometimes people don't know. He'll eventually understand that.
Yes, he'll figure it out. He's actually now living in Palm Desert.
Wow.
Which is also dumb. It's not. It's fine if you're 70.
Some people like that, though.
Yeah.
Their whole lives just don't want to live in a fun place.
Right. Right. It's possibly more work, except for that it's just as much work as far as I can tell to meet new people and find people you like. And
well, also there's this weird ideal where people are just I just want to live out in the middle of nowhere.
That's true.
And it's that's if anything bad happens, no one's going to come to help you.
No one is going to come. And if the North Koreans, if they make it to here, we're at ground zero. It's going to go quick. It's going to be great. I'm ready.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be fine. There's no
People
reason.
have all these apocalypse plans. I'm like, I want to just go out first.
Right. I can go.
Like, what am I? I don't want to survive. I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to be a follower.
Right. Where's that sitcom? It's when the threats come, and you and I are on the front line of, did you need us to die first? We're going to be over here.
How about we don't do anything? And you guys give us whatever we need.
Exactly. So I mentioned television in an effort to get to your favorite television programs of... And they're mostly sitcoms.
I love
they're
sitcoms.
Mostly black sitcoms.
I love black sitcoms. I do have an obsession with all sitcoms, but black sitcoms, I think it's really weird because it's a whole like wave of television that was popular to just a specific community. And
right, it was for some reason just the flipping of channels. And if I saw a black sitcom, I would not stop.
I'm sorry.
I know, because I was missing out.
You're missing so much.
I was missing out.
Like obviously there were like as a child there were the big ones.
Sanford and Son, the Jeffersons. For my childhood, it was the Jeffersons, which I did watch.
That was a great show.
And Sanford and Son we watched. So it's not true. I skipped. There was just 3. But remember, there was only 3 channels.
So you started at the 70s, which was Norman Lear, I think he, even though he's a white guy, sort of created the formula for how black sitcoms began to work and function. And then obviously in the 80s we got introduced with like the black middle class. And that was like, that's the Cosby Show, Family Matters.
Right. Right. Because it was, Good Times. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause it was, what was it? It was
like What's Happening, Good Times. Like the Jeffersons was probably the only one that showed black wealth.
Yes.
But it showed like black wealth through him, like, getting super rich and not knowing what to do with it.
And it wasn't just middle class, normal, walking around. We're going to just, have lives. Yeah. So what was it? Wait, so what are we talking? Like
I would probably say,
unpack?
like, Family Matters is one that we watched obsessively.
Okay. Which I can't even remember what
I love Family Matters, Steve Urkel.
That's right, the Steve Urkel one.
I love that one a lot because, well, first, it's a spinoff of Perfect Strangers.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
With Mark Lynn Baker.
Exactly.
The only reason I know that is because he was in a movie.
And it's, was it Bronson?
Yes, Pinchot. Bronson
yes.
Pinchot. So that was a spinoff.
The mother on Family Matters, Harriet Winslow, that character was on Perfect Strangers. She was actually the security guard on the elevator.
Yes.
And she was so likable that they gave her, the spinoff was about her and her family.
Right.
And then she became a secondary character the second Steve Urkel showed up.
Right. Which I'm sure made her furious. Sort of like...
Oh, I'm sure I think she just accepted it, except she wasn't on the final season of the show, so I don't know what happened.
Right.
But that is a heartbreaking story for me, because it's like, you were so well liked that you got your own show, and then it became the least important character.
Exactly, because a slapstick guy, because he was goofy looking, right?
And your daughter's stalker.
Yes, exactly. The classic neighbor stalker kid
which your cop husband does nothing about.
Nope, and he doesn't care.
Actually, they become great friends over time. And it was that one. It was so absurd, but also really like there's a quality to those family sitcoms where they just have this loving moment at the end, and like times where I've cried multiple times throughout these. But I also love.
Were they a very special episode, or were they just normal? Because you know how like there'd be learnings.
Of course,
yeah.
Like the grandmother went and taught one of the kids' high school class about the civil rights movement.
Okay.
And how she talked about segregation and the oppression she dealt with, and that was obviously
very powerful. And we were just like, this is going to be in the sitcom.
Yeah, and it was a solid moment.
Yeah.
Like I cried that episode for sure.
Yeah.
Now also there was a great thing about it was that Harriet Winslow, there's an Aunt Rachel who lived with the family. So she was a widowed military wife. A
military widow.
And her and her son had to move in with them. And so there's that side element. Like, it's not even like, like, that's not even treated as like, this is it just added this wonderful element to how families function.
Come together, and you're just like, it's sort of, and it didn't feel at all like adding like a new kid to the plot, like third season.
No, she was actually there from
the beginning of
from the very beginning.
Hey, it's Family Matters on Netflix. This sounds great. This sounds great, actually.
She was there from the very beginning,
but it's Urkel too, right?
It's Urkel, which is definitely the forefront of everything. But there's always, I love the little nuanced things that they like to do. I always like the fact that there's a sidekick character. And there was a few sidekick characters, like Eddie Winslow, the eldest son, had a best friend named Waldo Faldo.
Okay.
And he's from a weird broken home as well.
Right. So he ends up hanging around a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Laura Winslow, the girl that's being stalked by Steve Urkel, has a best friend named Maxine, also from a very weird broken home.
Right. So
there's always like this weird like little like, this is happening over here. Would be a much more interesting sitcom.
but we're going to focus on this guy who pulls his pants up too high and walks like a weirdo.
Which is, I always love that about, like, I could happily watch a sitcom spin-off of literally every character.
from that sitcom. That wasn't Urkel.
I think that's what happened with Perfect Strangers. They were like, hey, this little side character with a very interesting story, let's just build a world around her.
Exactly, because I
think they just keep doing that over and over again, and I would be content until the end of time.
I think so, because that's what you always hope with. Who was just in a movie that stole the damn movie?
Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish, that's it. Yeah, and everyone's like, why isn't she famous? Let's give her movies and television shows and everything. And that's exactly what this is.
She's a side character, and and that's the same thing that happened with Melissa McCarthy. She was on Gilmore Girls playing the smallest of the roles,
the smallest role in the world,
and she had the biggest persona. The entire time.
It just chewing up scenery when she was on Gilmore Girls. I freaking love Suki.
Yeah, but she got such a tiny little glimpse of how great of an actress she is.
Yeah,
and it's like maybe we should always. Maybe everything, we should all take a moment and stop and look at the side characters and go, we should make them the star.
Right. And I love that the writing was good enough that they were allowed to shine. Was the writing good enough? Or was it just that the people were good enough
to
shine
through the... The actors were very good.
good.
That's the great thing about Black Sitcoms is that they're all amazing theater actors.
That no one's ever heard of.
Of course, because that's how the black acting world is. Like they always assume like it's like how black Twitter works. Where people are like, it's a different thing over here. I'm like, no, it's literally in front of your face. You're just glossing over it.
You're just looking beyond it, going, I wonder if there's anyone working.
It's like they're happily there. They're always been and it was sort of and it was a moneymaker for a good chunk from the late 80s to the 90s.
Okay,
and that's what UPN and the WB they actually. Like that was
that's right.
Half of their programming were black sitcoms.
Yeah.
And
some of them were great and some of them were not, like all sitcoms.
They were a lot of terrible ones. And like Homeboys in Outer Space is one of the best things I've ever seen.
Is it?
It's only was I think it was only on for like a season and a half.
Okay. And a half.
Yes.
Okay.
And
yes.
Everything you could imagine something called Homeboys in Outer Space could be is there for the taking.
Yeah,
it is
right. Bad life choices after bad life choices.
Like they had their spaceship was a hoopty that they drove around in space.
Good Lord.
And it was
just made it without anybody blinking. They said, no, this is a good idea.
It's a great idea. I watched every episode. And it's not available anywhere to watch. It's very hard.
Oh, really? Maybe on YouTube. Maybe
I'm
buried.
looking forward to the end of time, my life, so I can get that Life Before I Flash. Like,
right. So
I
you can watch all the episodes of Homeboys in Outer Space. Was anyone in it that's? I'm sure everybody's still working, but anybody famous?
It's a slightly famous person.
Sure.
Was an actor, black actor named Flex, who went on to do. Just a couple of other black sitcoms, and that was about it.
Okay. And hopefully is teaching acting somewhere.
Maybe.
And I'm sure he's fine.
But yeah, Flex, one name was his name.
One name, Flex.
Flex.
Did he? Was he fit?
He was actually a little scrawny. It was really...
Oh, that is weird. Because
I think it was his given name.
It must be. All right, we're going to name him Flex. All right. Maybe he's flexible.
But he was also on another UPN sitcom called One on One, which was also another. It was about a father and daughter living together for the first time. It's also a wonderful. I know a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So also on for just a couple of seasons, or
I think that was on for 4 seasons.
4 seasons. That's plenty. Almost 5 for syndication.
There was another actor from another show that went on to that. But it's, I wish I could remember the names for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of where I dwell. This is where I can just...
Right.
Like my favorite thing, like going back to Family Matters, is Thelma Hopkins, who plays the aunt that... the widowed aunt.
Yeah.
She was also on Give Me a Break with Nell Carter. She played Nell Carter's best friend. Mm-hmm. She was also half
I remember her.
of Dawn from Tony Orlando and Dawn.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. She was also the lady on the Shaft theme song that said, "Shut your mouth."
Well, see, she's steady work right there, Thelma. And that's awesome. She was Dawn?
Yes. She was. Dawn was 2 women.
Oh, it was 2 different...
Dawn was made up of two women.
Okay.
I don't know why they were just called Dawn.
Yeah.
But it was just her and another woman, and they were singing with Tony Orlando. Yeah.
Tony Orlando would sing, and then he would do duets with one or the other.
No, he would sing, and they would usually be
both
the chorus.
his backup.
Yeah. So
okay.
That was just his backup group. He just
They
called
were
them
called
Dawn.
them Dawn. I fucking love that. Gutsy stuff. I like it.
You're one lady.
Tony Orlando. I'm me. I'm going to be me, but you are going to be...
Not just Dawn's. Dawn.
Just Dawn. You're just going to be 2... It's going to be fine.
People will figure this out. This will make sense.
No, I never did. Never
Not
thought
3 times if we got too many questions.
Exactly. So, okay. So now we're in the early 90s.
Yes.
Which Homeboys in Outer Space and One on One.
I think that was the mid-90s.
Okay.
And they also... There was a lot of... it was sort of like... It was a second generation... Well, actually, at this point, it's like 3rd generation Black sitcoms.
Okay.
And you'd also see like people from other sitcoms try and move on, like Malcolm Jamal Warner, who played
The Son?
Theo Huxtable.
Yep.
He was also on a UPN sitcom with Eddie Griffin.
He had his
called
own.
Malcolm and Eddie.
I remember Malcolm and Eddie.
They owned their own bar.
I worked at a closed captioning company, and we captioned that. And so...
It's a fun show. It was very weird.
It seemed super weird.
There's also...
It was sort of Odd Couple-y, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, didn't you tell me there was a Black Odd Couple?
There was a Black Odd Couple.
But that was in the 80s, I think.
That was in the 80s, and it was starring the
guy
the
from
son on Sanford and Son.
Lamont, the guy who played Lamont.
And I can't remember the actor's name. That was only on for 1 season, but it literally was just
the same scripts. Just
it was the same scripts.
Good. They're like, let's see what
recast them.
And was Lamont Tony Randall, or was he? I think he'd be the tidy one.
No, he was actually the sloppy one.
He was the sloppy one. Interesting.
He was in a junkyard in Sanford and Son, so I can only assume
that he became the sloppy
Exactly.
one. But I thought, because he was always so handsome in Sanford and
yes.
Son. Yeah. So,
but
clearly he got cast
I think
as.
I think they made, because he was. I think the second actor was more light skinned than him, and they made the light skinned one the neat one.
Oh, fantastic. That's nobody else noticed that. I bet, except everyone. Anyway.
Well, us.
Yeah.
I also, one thing I do love about Black sitcoms is that they the trope of the wealthy black girl.
Okay.
There was like,
what's that trope?
That's Hilary Banks from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes,
it is like, and it's also like on Other Things, which is a very weird it's always surprising that to see this snobby black girl like Lisa Turtle on Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
There was also Stacey Dash's character on Clueless. But Hilary Banks was the first one where you saw her walking around amongst black people like, I don't want to be. And that one I've always found, like, because it's not one that genuinely exists, this snobby black girl that doesn't want to be associated with black people.
Right. Like, what a weird thing that would be.
Yeah.
To be like, no, I need to hang out with somebody. We're going to hang out. And it's just like, no, did you need to borrow this handbag?
Yeah.
And, or whatever. And,
but it's such a fun thing to see.
Right.
like, what would a rich black woman be like? Oh,
well, clearly an asshole. She'd
just be mean as hell.
just be the meanest woman in the world, and I clearly think she's better than everyone.
Yeah.
And wasn't there one a rich black girl trope? I think now that you mentioned it, I'm like, was there one in Bring It On?
There wasn't one on Bring It On. There was one. I think it all started off with I can't remember the actress's name that was on Dynasty.
Okay.
But she was the one that claimed that she wanted to be the first black bitch on television.
Okay.
So she
created a legacy.
Made this insane but I think it played on to the idea, like when people saw that, they were like, this is a fun thing to just kind of shimmy around.
Right.
Let's make the rich girl black. Like, what?
What happened? And yes, because that's something.
It's like, yeah, because now if she's mean, you can't be mad at her.
Right, you can't be mad at her. You can't be anything but supportive of whatever. Okay, so which ones... What else were you watching? I love the idea of all of these.
I have so many. I obviously watch Moesha.
Oh, yeah.
Which is Brandy's sitcom.
Yeah.
What
channel was that on?
That was also, I believe, a UPN show.
Because it was regular network. It was not cable.
No, it was definitely.
But it was the extra. It was the coming of the new networks.
Yeah, it was definitely the third generation. And it was like it's. Brandy's a phenomenal singer.
Yeah.
I always feel very bad for where her career is at the moment.
What was the plot of Moesha?
Moesha she was living with her single father and her younger brother.
Okay.
And he recently got remarried to stepmom, who I wish I could say the name of right now because she's an amazing theater actress.
Okay.
And she, it's one of those things where she... Well, she's still. I think she's I feel like she's already been a Tony Award winner.
But she's probably in New York doing theater. Okay.
But it's definitely one of those things. It's insane the amount of Broadway actors are in just sitcoms.
Just sitcoms in the 90s.
And never highly regarded. Loretta Devine was on the Carmichael Show.
Okay.
She is. She was on the first cast of Dreamgirls.
Yep.
When it hit Broadway. She's an amazing singer, an insanely wonderful actress, and the fact that most people don't know her name.
Right. And I only know of her name. That's true of almost everyone.
But she's an amazing actress, and that's Alfre Woodard is another one who's an amazing performer that's been around for 3 decades.
Yeah.
And
can do
the
anything.
Country can name her.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She should have had 900 Oscars by now.
Right.
But no one's going to do
Nobody's got any idea. They're like, oh, she looks vaguely familiar.
And Angela Bassett's another one that I feel like she should have about 30 Oscars because she's played every black woman in history.
Right. Completely. She's like, oh, should we get an Angela Bassett? Look, someone who type? Or should we just get Angela Bassett? And Angela Bassett's like, I'm available. Please work me. Yeah.
The fact that she was the idea that how good she was on Coven, American Horror Story, and that she's not in literally every movie still, and she still looks exactly the same for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I was at the San Francisco Comic-Con a weekend or so ago, and Nichelle Nichols was my friend Miley Flanagan is the voice of Naruto, the comic. It's a cartoon thing, the anime thing, and so 3 people over, it was. Next to Miley was the woman who played Gabrielle in Xena.
Okay. Yes.
Next to Gabrielle in Xena, it was Sean Astin, Rudy,
yes,
and Lord of the Rings. And then next to him was Nichelle Nichols. And
I would have lost my mind on Nichelle.
Right. I was like, she looks exactly the same, but seated because she's 100. And
only person in that cast that knew how to sing. And wanted to be a singer.
Yeah, wanted to be a singer.
Had the least successful singing career. William Shatner, who can't sing.
Right, has albums. Yeah.
The people, she's an amazing singer.
Really?
She's a really, really good singer.
Okay, that I did not know.
It is definitely worth listening to.
Find the works of Nichelle Nichols.
Not obviously original songs were an issue. Because I don't think the music that she sang was Like
They were
she either did covers or her original music wasn't that great.
Right, but everybody was doing covers back in the 60s. That's what
Sure, that's all William Shatner did.
right,
Just terribly.
certainly, but not well.
God.
But there was like a whole group of people who wrote songs and a whole group of people that sang songs, and only with Bob Dylan did he ruin that.
Yeah, he just
And
made.
You're just like, someone else should sing your songs, Bob. And then I get 9 emails telling me that Bob Dylan's amazing.
I'm
Isn't Bob
sure you
Dylan?
do, but I will
Yeah.
happily tell you that you're absolutely right that he's a terrible singer.
He's a terrible
and
singer. I can't
no one
understand what
can-
he's saying. I'm sure it's very, and it is very beautiful.
And it's the thing is, like, every time I hear somebody else sing his songs, I'm like, this is good.
Exactly.
Like, this is really good.
Right. Why did I have to suffer through his croaking rooster
I
voice?
just feel like there's been so many white guys at a party that have cornered. You're like, you haven't really listened to Bob Dylan. No, I've really
No,
listened. I've been forced.
Right.
I've been cornered.
There's an album called Chimes of Freedom that someone gave me and is trapped on my phone. You know, like that U2 album?
Oh my
so
God.
when I turn on my car, it's the first, because it's on iTunes. So it's like it's always on.
Like, they don't seem to comprehend how piercing that voice is if you don't like it.
Well, here's the good news about Chimes of Freedom. It's all other people doing his
Good.
songs. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
happily listen to that.
Parts of it are still terrible because not everything is great.
Yeah.
and it
Well,
doesn't
also,
have
you're
to
not
be.
supposed to like everything. That's
No,
fine.
You don't have to like everything. It'll be fine.
But it's, I think Bob Dylan's like cilantro.
Oh yeah, some people it tastes like soap.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan tastes a little bit like soap for me.
Oh, a lot
and
like soap
weirdly
for me.
enough, I like Leonard Cohen, and he can't sing out of a paper bag.
Yeah,
you know,
he has such a very mellow voice.
right? It's sort of all one.
Yeah.
but it seems to be on key,
I think it's
and I
just-
can understand what he's saying.
There's more depth to his voice. Well, I think there's a nasal thing with.
With
It gets there's a register and
Right.
I just can't do it.
yipe, yipe, yipe. That's what it makes me want to do. So, all right.
Now, where did we leave
where
off?
did we leave off? Moesha,
Moesha, Brandy Norwood, went by Brandy at the time.
right?
And that was also like that. I'm trying to remember. The Wayans brothers had their own, like Marlon and Sean Wayans also had their own show
Right.
called The Wayans Brothers.
Yeah.
With John Witherspoon playing their dad,
Yeah.
who I think is also another amazing actor, and stand-up comedy records that he had in the 70s
Oh, really?
are because he stays in character. I feel like he's been that character for 40 years.
What's the character?
Just this
Like grumpy dad?
this grumpy
character?
grandfather, dad, whatever
Yeah.
situation he's put in.
Just old dude?
Yeah, just
Kinda.
but he's just he's just like, it's so weird the things he decides to joke about because it's just almost like a fever dream.
Yeah.
It's almost like if Richard Pryor just did Mudbone.
Yeah. Which I don't know what that is.
Or I think it's a Mudbone. I forget, but it's that character that he does.
Was
The older gentleman
Oh.
that travels around.
it was a traveling character, like a kind of hobo-y kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
John Witherspoon, it's pretty much like he's decided to do this insane fever dream of a character that talks absolute nonsense.
Right, and see, I pictured it more roll up the hose kind of guy. It's not that, or it's that, but also
It's
weirder.
definitely like the get off my lawn,
Yeah, yeah,
kind of dad
yeah.
character. But don't want to go in this room? I just took a dump kind of character.
Oh, that's it. Okay, so he's literally that guy. He's
And it's so he's done that persona in literally every character he's been given as an actor, and I have never been sick of it.
never disappointed. Well played.
Like, I remember seeing it on Friday, then he moved it over to the Wayans brothers, and he did it on the Boondocks cartoon.
Oh, there you go.
It's been, and it's just like, it's a long career of that character.
Working that character. You know what? When I think about stand-up comedy, I think we all write the same joke anyway.
Yeah.
And so why not? We talk about the same things. Like
Well,
if
that's
you,
what the stuff that matters to.
right, the stuff that matters to you. But if you look at, I was just talking to Kilmartin about how Rickles kind of painted himself into a corner with that insult comedy, and so he can't really write new jokes.
Yeah, I wouldn't, like, because you have to keep making fun of people, and that's
Right. And there's only so many things you can make fun of, and then you're done.
Yeah.
And then you're just making fun of those same things. And so.
Well, that's also, it requires you to be like upset, and then eventually.
It's exhausting.
I'm not upset all the time.
Right.
Am I?
At least Joan Rivers. I mean, Joan Rivers talked about like family stuff, and then she had several stage tics that bugged the hell out of me, but I have stage tics that bug the heck out of myself. So
I think she went self-deprecating while also mocking society.
Yes. So it was all of her early stuff was mostly self-deprecating, and then it was some self-deprecating, and then other just making fun of the rest of it, and it was more storytelling at the end.
Yes.
So it had a chance to move somewhere, but they were sort of the same. They were the same. She was just. People got to get their act together. I mean, that was her whole life. Is why are you such an asshole?
But I think there are people who are very versatile. Like I think Whoopi Goldberg was insanely versatile in her stand-up.
Right, and it changed.
And it's like I remember, like she did a special. I think felt like 5 years ago.
Did she do one 5 years ago? Because
I feel
saw
like within the last
Relief,
10 years.
And I saw her one-woman special.
I think the one-woman special is the one that I'm talking about. Was that within the last?
Not the one in the late 80s?
Okay, I'm talking about one she did in the last decade or so.
Okay, then I don't think I've seen that.
But the one she does that's when she does the crackhead character, right?
Well, that's the late 80s, early 90s.
The more recent one, it was almost like a storytelling kind of show.
Oh, good. Yeah, she's an amazing storyteller. So and she can tell but
also so different from where she began
from that place
to where she is now.
Right, and
like insanely different.
Right, and her acting chops are always so weird because you're like, what are you casting her as? And like she was on Star Trek Next Generation,
yes,
as the psychic lady,
and to play that at the same time as Sister Act 2.
And Sister Act. Yep.
It's like, wow.
Yeah. One of my favorite movies in college was Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Jumpin' Jack Flash is a phenomenal movie.
It's such a great movie.
I also love Burglar.
Oh, yeah.
That's her and Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah.
And it's such an underrated comedy.
It is. It's dumb, but it wasn't supposed to not be. It was supposed to be dumb, and it worked out perfectly.
I love that. I
actually now I want to see that. I've seen Jumpin' Jack Flash recently.
And she had 2 seasons of her own show too, where she was the super of a building in New York.
That's right.
And her brother was living with her because I think his business was failing.
Okay.
And she was putting him back on his feet.
Yep.
And George Bush was president, so she was shit-talking him left and right throughout the show.
Oh, my God. And there were 2 seasons of that?
I think there was 2 seasons of that one.
Was it H.W. Bush or early 2000s?
It was the second Bush.
Second Bush. So we're talking early 2000s?
Early 2000s, yeah. It was the aughts.
Huh?
I think it was the aughts, yeah. For sure the aughts.
I like that you refer to them as the aughts. And, Burglar... I need to see that again.
There was another one that I can't remember.
There's famous ones, like Fresh Prince. Mm-hmm. And did you watch that?
I did watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
You did not?
No, I did. I watched all of it.
Oh, yeah.
From beginning in.
Yeah, that would have been...
Every single episode.
I would have been enormously surprised if you had missed.
That one, I definitely... we watched it, but I wouldn't say it's my number one of all time. I for sure watched it all the time.
Yeah, but which ones were better than that? I mean, because that was late 90s, right?
It was late 90s. That was the early...
Aughts?
Early mid-90s.
Oh, mid-90s.
Early to mid-90s, because I think Fresh Prince premiered in 91.
Okay.
And that went on for a while.
Mm-hmm. It really did.
They recast Aunt Viv on that one, which was heartbreaking, because I love the original actress.
Yeah.
But I also love the replacement too.
Yeah, it just takes a second.
But there was I think Living Single was probably the one that we enjoyed the most.
Oh, okay.
That was Queen Latifah. Kim Fields, aka Tootie from The Facts of Life.
Yeah. It was essentially like single women in their late 20s or 20s and 30s and just out and living single.
Exactly.
I remember that.
Yeah, and Khadijah, Queen Latifah's character, owned a Flavor magazine.
Okay.
And her cousin, who's from the Boondocks, moves in with her. That's the start of...
Right. Was it Jack A?
No, it was not Jack A. It was, I can't remember the actress's name right now. She was also on the first season of In Living Color.
Okay.
And Just a big personality kind of character, just like a naivete.
Okay. It's Betty White kind of and Golden Girls?
Very, very close. Yes.
Yeah.
Like a black version of
Right, whatever
I'm in the big city working for my cousin's magazine.
Right, it's going to be awesome.
And they also had two male neighbors.
Okay.
Overton and, oh my God, I forgot the other character's name, and I know that's not many people would care, but a lot of black people will be very angry with me.
Yes, there's some people that are full of rage yelling at their iPods.
And that was another. It was a lot, and they also had because it was Kim Fields, Queen Latifah, her cousin, living in the house.
Yeah,
and they also had a neighbor who was a lawyer, Maxine, a very powerful lawyer. Yet she would just bum off of them all the time, and just sneak into the house.
Very successful lawyer, but she was one of the neighbors that just popped in.
Yes,
like Kramer or whatever.
Yes. But if it was a powerful, smart black woman.
Right, exactly. And
but she would also talk shit about them. And the best thing, it brought in...
Wait, so she was antagonistic?
She was antagonistic, yes.
But she was constantly bumming off of them and popping over?
Well, yeah, she was not antagonistic towards Khadijah, the main character, Queen Latifah. They were for sure buddy.
Okay.
She was antagonistic towards
what she considered
Kim Fields'
to be
character, who was this
not as cool.
Even though she wasn't a rich black girl,
yeah.
She was the bougie girl who was wanted. So she was very that trope of
kind of bitchy,
the wealthy black.
Yes, exactly that.
And they would make fun of her wigs all the time. And also, Kim Fields' wig game on that show is insane.
The wig game on Living Single of Kim Fields?
Because they gave her... the whole point of the character was she wore wigs all the time.
Yeah.
So her hair would change every episode.
So, because it could.
Yeah. And they were great wigs, even though they were made fun of.
Right. Even though... and that's the whole thing about I mean... Whenever anybody makes fun of somebody's, because someone whose outfit changes every time, they're like, no, each of those is a fantastic outfit. It's just the sight gag of it being something else. Yeah.
Well, also, there was a chance that the other 3 black women on the show were wearing wigs or weaves.
Right. Well, and my knowledge of black lady hair is entirely from the Chris Rock movie Good Hair.
It goes way even beyond that.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's always been my favorite thing is when somebody's like, look at this black actress's new haircut. I'm like, I assure you, that hair was not cut.
That is not a haircut.
It was removed.
That is my dead mother used to wear wigs when I was a kid because it was the 60s and the early 70s, and everybody wore wigs. Exactly. And I remember she had one of those styrofoam heads that she would store her wig on, right? Because that's what you do. You take your wig off at night, you set it in curlers, and then you crash.
You set it, you forget it.
You set it and forget it. You wake up the next morning, you put it on, you go to your job at Lloyd's Lunch.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, she worked
that makes
briefly.
so sense. You don't have to spend that much time working on your own hair.
Right. If you can keep it together long enough to set the wig before you go to bed,
exactly.
It's all going to work out in the morning. You can just put some makeup on, jam a wig on your head, and head out the door.
I think we lived a better time when we had the option of wearing wigs.
More wigs. Maybe wigs will be back.
I think wigs are still very much alive amongst black women.
Right, in the black community.
And I think celebrities are for sure using wigs and weaves all the time.
Yep.
But it used to be more available.
Yes.
And more
accessible and
affordable.
Right, because wigs are so expensive.
It's very expensive. It's insane how much it costs to get hair done.
Right, and I wonder about, if it would make more sense... This is a different episode of the Dork Forest. Make more sense to invest in a couple of great wigs or to keep doing that weave. When it comes to lady hair, black lady hair, email me, you guys. This is I don't know. But hey, was there ever a black version of Bosom Buddies? Because I remember watching 3. I watched the first 3 seasons of any sitcom I get sucked into.
I'm trying to remember. I think I've only watched 1 season of Bosom Buddies.
It's the 2 guys.
They dress as women.
They got to dress as women to live at the women's youth hostel or whatever.
Tom Hanks and
the blonde guy.
The other guy.
Yeah. who's famous, but I don't remember his name.
I don't know how famous he is.
No, middling. So he ended up getting some more work as well.
Like I remember he was on the TV show version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes,
he played Rick Moranis.
Exactly, he was the dad part.
Yes,
and did an excellent job, if I remember correctly. Even though I only saw parts.
I think it was
of
on for like 2 seasons.
Right, It's the same thing. Somebody gets shrunk.
I have a lot of knowledge of sitcoms, especially if they were on for 2 seasons. But Living Single, I think, would be like
one of your very
the
faves.
crowning glory. And I also Martin
Martin Lawrence.
Love that show so much.
Why? What was it?
Martin played 4 different characters on the show.
Did he?
He played his own mother. He played this.
Did he get in on the ground floor of this "I'm going to play multiple characters" thing?
I think that's just. I think that was already like going about for a while, but he sort of just made it the TV's.
He manifested it the best on television.
He played Shanae, this the girl that was in love with him and hated his girlfriend Gina.
Did he play Gina?
No, Gina was Gina was played by Tisha Campbell, who another amazing actress,
right?
And her best friend was Pam, who was played by Tichina Arnold. Tichina Arnold was the mother on Everybody Hates Chris. And those two, Tisha Campbell and Tichina Arnold, they knew each other before Martin. They were actually the black background singers in Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh my God!
They were 2 of the 3
the Rick Moranis Little Shop of Horrors. Or with Steve Martin?
It was a Rick Moranis, yeah. Well, they were the 3 street girls.
Who were
2 of them are Tisha Campbell and Tichina Arnold, who played best friends on the sitcom.
Oh, that's
on
hilarious.
Martin's sitcom.
Oh, that's cool.
And he also played like a 10-year-old snot-nosed kid that tried to sell them like Boy Scout cookies or like get them to buy chocolates for his basketball team and had snot on his
right.
But they also they built these insane characters too. Like his best friend was Tommy, and everyone knew he didn't have a job. That is like every time he saw her talking about work, all the other characters were like, Tommy, you know you ain't got no job. And also his best friend was this guy named Cole, who I think the whole running joke was that his wife was too big to ever be seen,
right?
Which was like a weird kind of like.
Well, it's a sitcom kind of joke. It's a
weird sitcom joke of the weird guy that's dating a wife that has a wife or a girlfriend that's too big to leave or be seen. And you're like,
right.
What does this mean?
Right? How is that safe?
Like, why is that somewhere in the background? Why is this whole character that's too fat to leave their house existing in this?
Right.
It's never had to
writing.
add this.
You didn't have to write that in, but you thought it was funny.
And it isn't like Niles on Frasier has that, doesn't he?
He has his wife who we never meet. Maven, that was her name.
Or Mavis.
Mavis?
I also believe Married with Children had Peg's mom, who was the same situation too.
Right.
Where it's like she can't leave, and there's always a running joke about that. And you're like,
right. There's something there, and Mavis was too big of an asshole to ever be seen.
Okay, yeah, she hated him.
Right, and
I also think there was jokes about her being big as well. I feel like that was there too.
Really?
I think so.
Maybe.
Too.
I just remember I was like, okay, so the running joke, and then when they get divorced, you're supposed to be relieved for him, but you're like, why did they marry to begin with? I am always confused.
Also, it's such a one-sided way to hear somebody's story.
Yeah.
It's like, she's really mean. I'm like, okay, first of all, I have not yet met this woman.
Right.
She might be sweet.
There might be extenuating circumstances. You might be a jerk when you're with her. Yeah. Maybe she's just responding to that.
Frasier and Niles are jerks.
Yeah, so they're not nice men.
They're snobs.
They're super snobby, judgmental dududes.
So yeah. I want to meet this person that's meaner than you.
How is that even a thing?
Like I think Lilith, like Frasier, like they paint Lilith off as being mean, and
she was the biggest bitch in the world. Yeah,
it's like she was no different than him, and actually she ended up going on like other parts of the world to help people.
Right.
And she's still the mean one.
She's the mean one because she's unwilling to essentially deal with his guff.
Exactly.
And that makes her the biggest bitch in the world.
And like every time she shows up, she's like, I just traveled through Africa to help people.
Right.
And it's like, how's she still the mean one?
You're going to see the opera. But I'll tell you, that is a weird thing about sitcoms is that the simplification, it's one of the reasons why I've had a hard time watching them for a long time is that the jokes are usually so mean.
Yes.
That you're just like, wait, why are these people hanging out together? And
that's the truth. That is very much so. Like a lot of like Martin, him and Pam, his girlfriend's best friend, hate each other's guts.
Right.
And they would just
so they snipe at
each other down.
Yeah.
Like viciously. And it was obviously over like some simple dumb jokes.
Yeah.
But the thing is that on the opposite end of that is there's moments on that show that are outlandishly hilarious.
Yeah.
That are like there's this point where a show jumps a shark.
Yeah.
And I think that's when the show gets good. Because there are insane moments in it that are much funnier than before. There's one episode of Martin where they go on a Hawaiian adventure.
Do they?
Oh, of course.
Yes, please.
But here's the thing is that they ended up staying, like, they thought they got this luxurious package, but they ended up staying in a shitty, like, hotel, like, little hut, bungalow. Yeah. And there's a solid 5-minute scene of this weird raccoon monster, like this stuffed creature in a corner.
Right.
And them freaking out and doing the most insane slapstick and trying to fight essentially a stuffed doll. And it's Martin and his girlfriend, and then later it's Martin and Pam, his enemy, working together,
right,
while insulting each other and fighting a stuffed animal.
Yes, sitting through 4 seasons of something to get to that might be worth it.
Quite possibly the most hysterical 15 minutes ever put together on TV.
Well, clearly, that should be watched on YouTube. It's the stuffed raccoon or monster.
There's so many moments, and especially Shanae, the neighbor, and Gina.
Yeah,
Shanae, played by Martin.
Yes,
hating on the
girlfriend,
and they are like it's a constant back and forth between the two, and it's so.
Okay, so. If we're going to discuss the jumping of the shark, what other great sitcoms have jumped the shark that you kept watching?
Family Matters jumped the shark.
Oh, did it?
Jumped the shark hard.
Okay.
And they jumped the shark by Steve Urkel's character created a machine that had made another version of him, a cooler version of Stefan Urkel.
Stefan Urkel.
That is, and at one point, in the beginning, it was just him turning into that character.
Yeah.
And then eventually he found a way to clone himself and make Stefan Urkel just be a regular character on the show. And that was insane.
That sounds so horrible, and yet you can tell. I mean, the actor was probably just like, I can't be this nerd all the time.
But even better is that there's also Myrtle Urkel, who was Jaleel White, pretty much dressed as a Southern girl version of himself.
Oh my God, I do remember that too. I've seen the clips of.
And she was infatuated with Laura's older brother, so both Urkels were trying to get themselves a Winslow kid at one point, and it was again freakishly stalkerish.
Just the worst stalkers in the world.
Exactly.
What? Okay, so that's Family Matters jumping the shark.
I think Family Matters worked on in such a way that it jumped the shark very quickly, so everything just got real fun after that.
And just committed to that.
But there's also another episode of Family Matters where his aunt visits him, and she's played by Donna Summers.
What? Yeah.
But Donna Summers plays a very quiet, coquettish character.
Yes.
And just walks around just terrified and nervous of everything. And at the very end, she just goes on stage and then sings like Donna Summers.
Turns into Donna Summers.
And at that point, I actually wasn't familiar with Donna Summers because I was 11
right.
or 12. And I just I don't know what this is, but I'm 100% gay now.
You've blown my mind.
I need to listen to whatever this lady has done.
This lady has done. Oh my God. So did Fresh Prince jump the shark?
Fresh Prince, it kind of it sort of whimpered out with its jumping the shark. It was more along the lines of, there are shows when they jump the shark, they just become insane.
Yeah.
And there are shows that jump the shark and they just become boring.
Right.
And that's what Fresh Prince.
Yeah,
Bel-Air
Fresh Prince got kind of weird. I think I watched like the last couple seasons of it occasionally in like a hotel room.
Yeah. And it wasn't crazy. It was just boring.
It was just kind of a little preachy and a little bit like, calm down. Is anyone going to trip and fall at any point? Because that would be great.
Because I think like at the beginning of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith was like, I'm up for doing all the kooky stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it just became less silly,
right? When he became more serious,
which is
it's not as much fun.
So it whimpered off more.
But things like Homeboys in Outer Space and One on One, those were born on top of a shark, right? I mean,
One on One was more of a family thing. It wasn't
right.
that one was too crazy. Homeboys in Outer Space, fever dream the whole way.
Right.
It's the best. And stuff like that, it also doesn't last that long in American television. Like, if it was like a BBC thing, you'll get like 20 seasons of this over 30 years of your life.
Exactly. You would watch them age.
Exactly.
And have lives.
But this one, they were like, oh, that one's weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's an audience for this, I assure you.
Right. So what's happening now? What's happening currently in the world of black sitcoms?
It's gotten definitely, it's because it went away for so long.
Did it?
Like after Friends became very successful.
Yeah.
Like people were like, it like legit became like nothing but white shows on every major network.
Through most of the late 90s and until 2015.
Late 90s and the aughts, yeah. And
yeah.
it's now we're in the fourth generation of black sitcoms, and they're starting up. Like Blackish, I think, is an amazing show.
Right.
The writing on that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's... The Carmichael Show, which is gone. But that's Anthony Anderson, plays the father. Tracy Ellis Ross, Diana Ross's daughter, plays the mother. Lawrence Fishburne, who plays Anthony Anderson's dad, even though I'm pretty sure they're only 9 years apart.
Right, right.
And I'm going to feel so bad for not remembering the woman who plays his mother's... She has been on so many things, and she's another phenomenal, amazing actress.
And I've never seen Blackish. I've heard only that it's amazing.
It's really,
but I haven't watched a sitcom since.
Well done.
Yeah.
And it's so like it's executed in a way where you're like every character has the most dimensions, which is like,
oh, that's amazing on a sitcom because there's usually cardboard cutouts of humanity.
Especially they have a set of fraternal twins that are the youngest kids.
Okay.
A boy and a girl. And the girl is very smart, very mean. The boy is very dumb. And just the two of them and their dynamic with the world around them.
Like 10? Supposed to be like 10?
Yeah, I think they're like 9 or 10.
Okay,
and it's like hands down.
Okay.
Like especially that little girl.
Yeah.
She is so sharp and so funny and so mean. And you're like, I love everything she does.
And then, it's a family show.
One's a family show.
It's because the Blackish, it's got several generations.
Yeah, but the thing about that is they're definitely not shying away from heavy topics. Like they talk about the Trump presidency. There's a whole episode where they focus on that. They talk about the shootings,
cop killings,
Black Lives Matter. They didn't shy away from those things at all.
And are they mostly? And lie to me if this isn't true. Tell me that most of the writers are black.
I would assume so because I know that Anthony Anderson and Lawrence Fishburne are
the producers. And
I think most of the writers are for sure black. I know Kenya Barris, one of the creators, is for sure black.
Okay. King of Bears?
Kenya
Bears. I was like, what is King of Bears? I want to watch King of Bears. I don't want to watch anything. Kenya?
But it's... But yeah, they also a great thing about that show that I was going to say was it's done in a way where the Anthony Anderson's character sort of narrates, but he doesn't narrate like the show. He narrates the idea of like the black idea behind things.
Okay. Oh, so like, he's essentially translating it.
It's like, this is how black people feel about this situation.
Right.
And when you're a black person dealing with this is how and it's sort of just like kind of trying to explain like the
snippet voiceover kind of stuff.
Like quick like how black people view a very big experience in the world. and it's just like a nice, but it's also still like as much of the black spectrum you can get from, like, because it's like his parents who grew up poor, him who made his way in and earned his own keep, his kids who
are sitting pretty,
and doing well, and his wife who's actually mixed race, and the stuff she deals with, with that as well, it's that they've done some wonderful episodes about mixed race that I don't think have ever been touched.
Right.
Like it's like every topic that
right. It turns out there's probably a lot of topics available.
Oh, there's a lot of topics.
Yeah, that nobody's ever addressed. that good for them. Yeah. But I didn't know the Carmichael thing got canceled. How many seasons did he have?
I think there were. I'm trying to remember if there was 3 or 4.
At least 3, if I remember.
I believe at least 3.
My mom's-in-law watched it.
Yeah, I know Blackish is going into their 5th season now.
Well, that's cool.
Or it might be their 4th.
And what about the Chris Rock as a kid?
Everybody Hates Chris. That was canceled a while ago.
Oh, is it? And was that 5 years ago, 6 years ago that it was on?
Yeah, and I think that was one of the few black sitcoms that was
made it in the middle 2000s.
Aughts,
in the aughts. In the odds. And so, hey, by the way, everyone, Rangers, you should know that I am talking to Solomon Georgio. It's at Solomon Georgio and thesolomongeorgio.com. And October 20th, half-hour special on Comedy Central, and also a new album coming out in October as well called Homo Negro Superior.
Yeah.
Negro?
Negro.
You like Negro.
I like them both.
It's I'm just doing whatever I'm doing. And I'm just going to backpedal and keep moving.
The word means the same in both.
Right. Is it, now you were originally from Ethiopia.
Yes.
And I don't know why I brought that up.
That's good.
That's all I got. It's but because in the beginning you talked about when your family came here. And
yes.
So I think
it's been a big thing. Is the TV and the sitcoms.
But now you're doing the road, right? You're doing stand
as much as I can here and there. Yes. Yeah. I'm usually out of town at least 2 to 3 times a month.
And I usually like to ask, do you do the NACAs? Do you do any of the colleges?
I've done colleges. I've been doing a few colleges here and there. But I haven't done a NACA in
they're horrible.
3 years.
They're a pain in the ass and expensive.
It costs money.
Yeah.
It requires me to go somewhere, and I also I definitely love doing the college shows. I just don't want to do a bunch at the same time.
Right. My buddy Pete Lee did 96 one year, and the money was great, and he wanted to cut himself. So
it's it's one of those things. I love doing
occasional,
shows, but I don't like being gone for so long.
Right. Because you're here, and are you auditioning and doing?
Yes, and I'm writing and stuff, and it's I love.
Are you writing a sitcom? Have you tried?
I am actually in the process of pitching right now.
There we go.
I wrote a spec for something. I also have a pitch for another thing, and I am one of those people that I'm happy to either do single cam or multicam. I would love both. Right.
You do, well, and I know that. I don't even know what the difference is. The multicams are...
multicam is filmed in a live studio audience.
And that's the whole difference?
Yeah. That's a single cam is like a 30 Rock or...
Okay. So if there is a multicam, is there ever a multicam without a studio audience?
Yeah, I don't think, because I think that it sounds like it's there's more than one. Single cam means there's only one camera, but it's not. There's actually there could be multiple cameras there too.
Okay. Right. I don't know anything about
but the whole idea of multicam is that you film one scene from multiple cameras because it's it's in a studio set facing a live studio audience.
Okay. I see.
And that's why the term multicam applies to that.
Makes sense.
While single cam sort of explains it's there's no live studio audience.
Right.
That's it.
So it's just shorthand for what that
exactly.
means. And and genuinely, I mean, a live audience I think would be better for jokes.
It depends on the jokes too. If there are I like them both, and I can see people. Some people don't like laugh tracks.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
You don't care?
No, I enjoy them, or I'll still laugh regardless.
Right, right. You're not you don't feel driven by a laugh track to laugh.
And that's the thing is also there are people that are snobbish towards that idea.
Yes,
the multicam. I'm some of the best writing has occurred because of that.
Right, and you're on board, it turns out, with a sitcom.
Much on board. Yeah,
you're I just want to do a sitcom because they're the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
well, that's
when
fun.
people are like, but especially like I think like right now people like look down on it because they think of like, oh, what's going on like there's the Big Bang Theory is one that's constantly mocked. There's also Two Broke Girls, so they're like these ones aren't good anymore. You're like, okay, first of all, Golden Girls is one of the greatest things to ever happen. That was a multicam show.
That was multicam,
and it was 100 jokes per second.
Yes, right, and they loved it.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, and now sitcoms. There's always talk of like whether it's an ensemble cast or if it's a star vehicle kind of thing, right? Don't they?
I think,
but isn't everything an ensemble
yeah,
now?
I think that's what people tend to forget is like they're like, oh, it focuses mostly on one person. It's like every good sitcom ends up being an ensemble cast.
Yeah,
and like people like I don't think I can name a single one that is an ensemble cast.
right. That isn't.
I think there's a difference between whether it's friends, like a group of friends, or a family.
Yeah, and
that's essentially all the difference
right. And
is.
then sometimes it's an office.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's either a work thing or a family thing or a friend thing, usually set in a coffee shop or or around some sort of.
But I think there is a variation. Like there's one where it focuses on one person more than everybody else. But on average, it's still like.
What are you watching right now that you should tell people? Because we're getting. We've got, of course, Blackish.
I have been watching a lot right now.
Have you?
That's the thing. I've just finished watching Glow.
Okay. Is that a sitcom?
It's not a sitcom, but it's half an hour, so
it's
a tough call.
That is, and I've heard of it.
Hysterical.
I don't know. Is it?
Yes. And
it's the ladies of wrestling.
Yeah, Glamorous Ladies of Wrestling.
That's what it stands for.
I watched Glow as a kid too.
There you go. That'll help.
Yes.
It's wrestling was never. I literally just watched the first episode of series 4 of Sherlock, and that's the first new thing I've watched in a year and a half.
Wow. I think I forgot. I watched One Day at a Time, which is the new Norman Lear on.
Is that a remake of One Day at a Time?
Yeah.
The original One Day at a Time?
Yeah, it's a Norman Lear, yeah. It's still it's production. He put it on Netflix with Rita Moreno playing the mother character, and I can't remember the actress, but it's a Latina actress, Latina family, and she served in the military, and it's just her life being a nurse after that.
Okay.
And it's really good.
It's really good? The new One Day at a Time?
I do like it a lot. It's a nice little throwback to how they used to be done.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Have you seen Lady Dynamite? Maria's thing? I haven't. I've seen the first 3 episodes of the first season.
I saw the whole first season. Second season
November 10th for the second season, and I only know that because of Maria. But
Kyle McCullough is my neighbor.
Okay.
He was working on that show as well.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'm like, hi, I didn't watch a show.
Well, as I've said to Maria, looks like it's great, and
it's very fun.
Oh, good.
I like it a lot.
Well, it has been an hour, Solomon Georgio. So this has been fascinating. It actually makes me want to watch. But we get this in my TV. Do you see our antenna? We have a antenna TV, and then we have Netflix and Hulu and HBO Go, and we don't watch any of it. Amazon Prime. We don't watch any of it. But I
have all those things, but I always watch everything.
But you watch everything, and it's really going to pay off. I think someone's going to care. Because I think that, and plus you will be entertained as I.
That's perfectly fine. It doesn't have to pay off at all. I get to watch this forever.
Exactly. Okay, so Solomon Georgio, guys, and go see him do stand up because he's a great stand up. So there you go. And Rangers, you know the rules out there. Take care of each other. Take care of each other. How about take care of each other?
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat, my hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?